can remember that they're changing my voice. I told you all so. I said they have 23 witnesses to the psychological operation against me. And in the news this morning, about 3 hours ago, it came out in this particular news clip that there was a massive conspiracy to interfere with the cell phone towers and the cell phone services in New York using information technology, advanced technology. Advanced. And it was a criminal network that must be linked up to various nation states. If you don't think that I'm right about them using advanced technology on people in various ways, it goes beyond that. I mean, that is they're using sophisticated technology. They got 100,000 cell phones together. 100,000. Think about that. Where on earth do you get 100,000 cell phones, right? Well, you get a bunch of criminals together and a bunch of intelligence agency types. And when Trump, funded the Secret Service with a whole lot more money, they were able to find this group. Now, I'm not saying I agree with increasing funding. I'm not saying I disagree with it. These are just the facts here. Now, I'm in the Silicon Valley in California. New York is not known as the Silicon Valley. Here in the Bay Area in California, it's known as the Silicon Valley. San Jose, where I was born. I live in the city right next to San Jose called Morgan Hill. And I said they're using advanced technology to cyber attack my phone. So they're fuming me and they're poisoning me. And we've seen evidence of a lot of things recently. Everything that I've talked about before it came out in the news has come out in the news in various ways. And if you think about it, it's more important to the scoundrels in the governing class and in the intelligence community to prevent the rise of the Messiah, the top martial arts ever possible, where martial is marital scramble and I, Christ and the bridegroom, than it is, and see my proof of Christ playlist, mind you, than it is to interfere with cell phone reception in New York City, whether the UN assembly is involved or not. That's just a minor interference. What they're doing here is a major disruption when it comes to the purpose of the human race. We see the Israelis saying things like there's an existential threat from Hamas, for Ham, Alphas, Hamas, Abraham. See, I'm proof on Christ playlist. I prove it with Exodus 15:3, with Proverbs 34. I prove it with Jeremiah 4:13. I prove things are figurative with the water in John, and with the yeast of the Pharisees in Ezekiel, where God tells Ezekiel, speak the way you have been speaking, and the prophets have been speaking, and he calls it a riddle, a parable. He calls it a sort of coded message. And speak to them in a way that they have to read between the lines to understand. And he draws parallels with eagles, just like the Jews are being superimposed on the African falcon martial art of the Jews who are chosen, mind you, like the prophets, pro-pet, pro-p-heat. Okay? The prophet in terms of storing riches in heaven. Okay? We see that the eagles are superimposed on Babylon and Egypt. I have a tendency of being right. Minor details, maybe in 16 years, maybe there's 50 minor details and 15,000 videos that I have wrong. Okay, just very small list. And one time I tried to predict something to see what would happen. That's it. Like everything else I'm right about. There's so many things I don't know where to start about. I was right about how they would respond to my card tactics. I was right about, being shunned by women and I said that years ago. I said, look, they're going to shun me. Last 7 years, no date. Why would they shun the top martial arts ever? How could I have predicted that? Because I use logic, because I have wisdom, because I have insight. God didn't say flat out to me that's going to happen. I used the Spirit through sabotage to predict that. They try to do little immature things, like, set the stage for me to die. I said, look, I'm sure that I'm going to die soon. And as it stands, we're still lined up on that trajectory. There's a lot of signs of that. They hack my brain to fool me about little minor details like that, like when I'm going to die. It's minor because I said specifically, hey, I'm not going to say that this comes from God or something, but using logic, right? So as we look at everything I've said like that put together, I've been basically right the whole time, and where I'm wrong, it means nothing at all, nothing. And I told you that they were using advanced technology, and I told you it was stupid to not believe me. We've seen the Havana syndrome. We've seen these cell phones here. We've seen massive cyber attacks and data leaks. We've seen so much information. We've seen people targeted and stalked for much less than being the top martial artist with a $100 million top martial arts challenge if I'm compensated, $60,000 to $100,000 if I'm not, and pay nothing if you lose, $50 just to show. People don't make challenges like that. Show me one other martial artist who says to people, I'll pay you just to show up, because I'm not sure I'm the top martial artist. With the top martial arts challenge, which on December 20th will be 12 years exactly. I've been making videos since August 31st on record. My first official video, 2009. My first martial art challenge was 2012, May 4th, I believe it was. What can anyone say now? What the fuck can they say? When you look at what I'm right about and why, you know that I am God's son, the top martial artist ever, and the greatest prophet ever. When you look at the bitch-ass technologies they've used to cause me to make minor mistakes, you know they are the most jealous and pitiful worms ever. Is it not fair to say this? Should I not say these things so people don't say, hey, he's arrogant or cocky? You know, knowing they're going to change my voice, should I not make this video? No, I should make this video. So if they make it sound like I sound like a gay, cocky chipmunk, I should still make this video. Because this information is too important. Because moral repetition calls for it. Because I am wise. And those who do not follow me are not wise.